Well, hello everyone, and welcome back there. Sorry for that. We had some fun tech issues, but we think we've got them solved, and we should be back here. So let me know if you can hear us, if you can see us, and let's get that chat going again. Let us know where you are watching from. We are just waiting for Arianespace and OneWeb to start up their stream, but we will patch the Russian live view from Roscosmos in. They are currently just talking through a little bit of their rocket. But if you're just joining us, welcome. My name's Zach. I am the host here at the launch pad. Here at the pad, it's our mission to inform and inspire the explorers of tomorrow. And you are watching our live launch coverage of OneWeb9 launching from the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan. If you are just joining us again, we were live for a little bit, had some tech issues, but we are back and we should be solid, and we are here to answer all your live questions and topics. So you can send those in the chat using hashtag AskTLP or at the Launchpad. We are currently coming up on T-minus 18 minutes and counting until the targeted liftoff of today's Soyuz 2.1B, as I said, from the Baikonur Cosmodrome at Site 31/6. Today's payload is launching 34 of the OneWeb satellites into a polar orbit. There you can see that payload on your screen. Payload deployment is expected to take about 3.5 to 4 hours at minimum. So if they stay live with their animation, we will keep live for that, but our live commentary will conclude a little while after orbit is confirmed, as we continue to answer your questions and comments here in the chat. Great, good to see you. Can we fix it? I think we can. We are back, it looks like, but you can see at the top right of your screen, that is a live view of the Baikonur Cosmodrome as they get ready for today's launch at T-minus 17 minutes. Yesterday we were live and got to the point where we got down to T-minus 30 seconds, and we did hear an abort called over the Roscosmos sound system and mission control. Something sounded like that the rocket itself called. Took them about 15 seconds to actually realize they were going into a scrub, and they wrapped it up for that. They targeted yesterday for a launch attempt, but OneWeb, to be safe and to make sure everything was ready, asked for an additional 24-hour delay before this next launch attempt here in the next about 16.5 minutes. But today they're launching into a polar low Earth orbit with an initial orbit of these satellites going to a 450-kilometer circular orbit, but then they will expand out into a final orbit of about 1,200 kilometers. So a little bit different compared to what we see with the Starlink satellites that are in an orbit just a little bit higher than the original release orbit of these OneWebs. That's why OneWeb needs far fewer satellites, because they're a lot further out, so they are able to cover more of a range. But it's great to see all of you in here. Thank you guys for jumping in again, let us know where you're watching from, even if you have already. We'd love to hear from you. Take a moment also, share out the new link, let people know that we are indeed live and here covering this launch. We here at the Launchpad try to cover everything space. So we bring you live launch coverage of both the US, Russia, China, and whoever else we can here. So we're just waiting for OneWeb to actually get their stream up here in the next couple of minutes as they continue the count towards today's liftoff here. We're going to move my camera out of the way so you can actually see that rocket in the top right corner. But good to have you all here. We see Josh is here, Sam's here, William. Let's hope it launches successfully this time. Yes, that is the hope, that they will have a successful launch here as we come down to T-minus 15 minutes and counting. If you're just joining us, welcome. Let us know where you're watching from. And if you're new, don't forget to take a moment and engage that subscribe button. We'd love to invite you to be part of our crew. We truly believe that space is better together, and love to invite you to be part of that here today. On a side note, we will be live at the Inspiration 4 historic first all-civilian mission to space. We are so excited to share with you guys some of the things that we have in the works for our live coverage there. And then we are heading over to Starbase for some official countdown to the first orbital flight test in advance of being there for the orbital flight test, most likely sometime in October. So we invite you to be with us for that. And if you'd like to help support us there, you can check out the GoFundMe or by sending super chats or super stickers. All of that is going towards making sure we can bring you guys the best possible live coverage of both of those very historic events here. Well, take a look. Are they live yet? Nope. OneWeb has not actually started up their stream yet. They say they're live, but I think someone might have forgot the button to actually click over to their feed here. So we're going to stay on the Roscosmos one until we get those live views up here. Take a quick moment, share out our links, but send in any questions you have, and we will be answering those in just a couple of minutes. You're watching our live launch coverage of OneWeb9, and I will be right back in just a moment. Disappear for 30 seconds and Joshy on Mars, thank you so much, I appreciate that. Who said super chat? Well, I guess I did, and then you made it happen as a reality. Let's try it again. Super chat. We'll see. Anyone else gonna do it? Is it one of those things that you can just manifest it? But thank you so much, Joshy. I appreciate that, and supporting the channel in that way. Thank you for that, and thank you for being a member as well. We are glad that you are here. But if you're just joining us, we're currently at T-minus 11.5 minutes and counting until the live launch of today's Soyuz 2.1B, launching from the Baikonur Cosmodrome, carrying 34 of today's OneWeb satellites into a polar orbit. And we're just keeping an eye on it because both OneWeb and Arianespace, though said they're going to be live, have not started their stream yet. So we're keeping an eye to see if maybe something's going on that we don't know about. Obviously, this stream we're watching now is from Russia and the Roscosmos Agency. So I would turn the audio on, but we wouldn't know what they say. So we're keeping it here and keeping an eye on that top right corner. That's the corner we want to watch. and see how it goes here. Maha, hey, how's it going? Pup, how's it going? But thank you so much, Sam. I really appreciate that. Thank you. That's great feedback, and I appreciate it. It happens, Preston. We see them, we appreciate them, and we still welcome them just as much. But we're currently sitting about T-minus 10 minutes or so. You're seeing some views on your screen here. Roscosmos clicks through a lot of things very quickly in their feed. But behind their host here, you can see that live view of the OneWeb satellites ready to go on top of their Soyuz 2.1B. So we'll have it here. If we do, y'all want to go put the new link in there, that would be helpful. I don't have access to that old stream anymore, so if you can, that would be great. Robert, you're back. What happened? Thanks for joining back in here, Robert. We had some slight issues with some of our tech. Our servers went down, but we should be back up and running full now, and we're going to hope and hold our fingers crossed that it will be stable for the rest of the feed here today, as we are coming down to T-minus 9 minutes and counting, and it looks like OneWeb is going live here, so we will switch over and patch them in so we can listen into them on an update for today's launch on just how the rocket's going, and go from there. But if you're just joining us, welcome. My name's Zach. I'm the host here at the launch pad, and you're watching our live launch coverage of OneWeb9 carrying 34 OneWeb satellites, and here they are. Let's listen in.
Welcome to OneWeb's 9th satellite launch. If you've been following our progress, you'll know that there are already more than 250 OneWeb satellites in low Earth orbit. Each one of those little solar-powered marvels is around the size and weight of a fridge or washing machine, and they're moving through orbit, preparing to provide low-latency, high-speed internet from space. Each launch expands OneWeb's capability to deliver that connectivity lifeline to those parts of the world where it's needed most.
I'm interrupting her for a quick second. Thank you so much, Joe. I appreciate that. Surprise! I appreciate that support. Thank you so much. It's great to have you here and in our Discord as well. And just the support you have been. But we're coming up and they're getting ready. OneWeb normally talks a lot, not about what's actually happening, but more about their service because they want you guys to buy it. So we'll flip back and forth between, but at least they're live. So we're waiting for an update here on what is happening. But we'll take a listen in to make sure we can hear some updates on the rocket. You might hear her voice, but still see Roscosmos because we'll be switching back between both. But if you guys have questions, send those in the chat. Let us know, #AskTLP or at the launch pad, and we will be answering those live during the coast phase. But let's listen back in.
A big ambition. Because while it seems that, everyone has a smartphone these days, almost half the world, more than 4 billion people, are not yet online. And for many that are, the service can be slow and patchy. So let's now have an update on OneWeb's service progress, as we're going to hear from Senior Technology Engineer Maite Carreras.
The team at OneWeb continues to work super hard and with a lot of passion as always during a busy summer as we prepare to introduce our services for the first time later this year. Today, we are excited to be watching another 34 satellites liftoff, which will bring us to 288 satellites in orbit. Our team has been working super hard since the last launch to raise our satellites up to their final destination, 1,200 kilometers above Earth, and also continuing to build the network on the ground. This means continuing to work on our ground stations and user terminals, core pieces of the system and super important to begin demonstrations of our service. And today, I'm so lucky because I have the chance of being at a demonstration site. You can see behind me our demonstration antennas, ready to perform connectivity demonstrations for our customers. We also want to give a warm welcome to our new investment partner, Hanwha, who will bring valuable technology expertise, and we are thrilled to have them on board. Welcome. And with all this, which are the next challenges for Team OneWeb? We have many. We will be showcasing more of our services in demonstrations. We are starting customer services this fall, and of course, more launches will follow as we keep building the network. Go Team OneWeb, and wishing the satellites a safe flight.
Now, for OneWeb's 9th launch, we return to the historic Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan, which lies about 2,000 kilometers southeast of Moscow. If you know your space history, you might actually know the name of this legendary location. At the very beginning of the space race, 64 years ago, Sputnik 1, the first man-made satellite, launched into space from Baikonur. Vostok 1, the first human spaceflight with Yuri Gagarin, also made history from here in 1961. So today, OneWeb's pioneering mission and revolutionary technology will also use Baikonur as its launch pad. Now, earlier this week, the Soyuz ST-34 rocket was rolled into its launch position. Let's have a little look at the rocket's journey to the launch pad.
And on that note, I'm going to interrupt her because we're currently sitting at T-minus 4 minutes and 50 seconds till launch. Both Roscosmos and OneWeb are not showing the rocket. So we're going to be switching back and forth to try to get you these views as we make this final countdown here. But though on your screen now are those 34 satellites that are on board, ready to go here as we count down the last 4 minutes, 30 seconds. I see a few questions coming in here. I'm sure she was saying the same. Yes, they are all saying the exact same thing, especially on the OneWeb. It's word for word, second for second. Watching from South Wales. Hello, William. Good to see you here. Will OneWeb be cheaper than Starlink? We're not 100% sure yet. OneWeb has started service. I have actually had OneWeb ads show up on YouTube and other social medias. So it is something that they are already offering service. In my region, I'm quite far north in Canada, but they're starting with the polar regions and going south, but I haven't dived too deep into it, but I will take a look and see if we can find an answer for that. Newport here, welcome, good to see you, James. Is it an instantaneous launch window? Not a perfect instantaneous. They do have a little bit of time, I believe, a little bit of wiggle room for it. My grammar doesn't make sense. That's okay, Josh, I get it. I do get it. But we're keeping an eye out here, but neither one of them, I'll switch back and forth here so you can see, neither one of them are showing the rocket, and we're 3 minutes to count. So always something kind of funny to see that they're doing. There you can at least see the rocket in the background of the Roscosmos feed for a quick moment there as they prepare, but we'll stay on this one for now just because we have that countdown as we're T-minus 3 minutes and counting until liftoff of today's Soyuz 2.1B, carrying 34 of OneWeb satellites into orbit. If you're just joining us, welcome. You can send in your questions. We'll continue to answer those during the coast phase and deployment. So take a moment and share out the link as well. Let people know that we're just coming up here on a couple minutes until launch. If you haven't yet, I know we mentioned it earlier in the stream, take a moment and join the Discord. It's totally free to do so. The link is in the description, and we would love to have you as part of our community there. And it looks like OneWeb is going to give us some views of the rocket now as they prepare for their actual liftoff. So we're going to listen in. And see what we can hear as they are about 2 minutes away from liftoff. As always, we're at the T-minus 2 minute mark. Let's see a go, no go in the chat. Do you think we're going to go today? 2 days ago, we got all the way down to T-minus 30 seconds, but let's see it in the chat if we think they're going to actually launch this here. So we come down to T-minus 90 seconds and counting. Ropadri, thank you for that feedback. I appreciate it. We try to cover everything because there's a lot of space stuff happening, and we want to make sure that you guys have one easy place to get to follow all of it. So we're trying to cover everything there. Josh, thank you so much. Thank you again. Go no scrub today. That's the hope. Please no scrub. But yeah, let's fill that chat with some goes here. So we are at T-minus 55 seconds and counting. They're a lot quieter today than they were 2 days ago, I find, in all of their hosting. So that sounded like a board again. I'm calling it. That sounded like an... Okay, we're at T-minus 30 seconds. The arm has pulled back. There goes the secondary arm. We got some ignition. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Full engine start. Now remember, they hold it down for a minute here. Keep holding it. There we go, and liftoff. It's on its way.
Двигатели первой и второй ступени работают нормально.
T plus about 30 seconds there.
Ракета-носителя в норме. Стабилизация изделия устойчивая.
We just switched over here quickly to the Russian feed, so it might be a second off the audio, but this will give us a good telemetry on how the Soyuz 2.1B is performing. Passing 2,500 kilometers an hour.
Управление ракетоносителем в норме. Первой и второй ступени работают нормально. Конструкция ракетоносителя в норме.
Gonna move myself out of the way of that overlay there in the bottom left. Sorry guys, but we're coming up, and there is booster separation. No live views of it today, unfortunately. And the main booster is now continuing to make its way.
Стабилизация изделия устойчивая. Параметры конструкции ракеты-носителя в норме. 150. Двигатель второй ступени работает нормально.
We're about 2 minutes away from the next major milestone here, which will be first stage separation. Coming up on 7,500 kilometers an hour, passing 80 kilometers in altitude. Yes, we are so used to what SpaceX can do. Now, they do have some cool animations that we don't normally get from SpaceX, but we are very blessed and used to all the cameras we get on board the Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy.
190. Параметры конструкции ракеты-носителя в норме. 200. Двигатель второй ступени работает нормально. 210. Параметры системы управления ракеты-носителя в норме. 220. Полет нормальный. Время КП 3 часа 13 минут 40 секунд 425 миллисекунд. 230. Стабилизация изделия устойчивая. 2
about 30 seconds away from major first stage cutout and separation here. Coming up to 12,000 kilometers an hour. There's the words we were looking for. And 135 kilometers. These satellites are going to be going into an original deployment orbit of 450 kilometers, and then will make their way into their final orbit of over 1,200 kilometers. But we will be expecting to see this altitude increase quite a bit more before they finish up here today. And we'll stand by. There's cutoff, and there is stage ignition and separation, and fairings as well. Got about 3 minutes here now until the next major milestone. Passing 15,000 kilometers an hour and 160 kilometers in altitude. Thanks, Tubular. I appreciate that. I'm glad you made it here. William, we're in space now. That they are. Godspeed. Absolutely, Karen. Can't believe there's no onboard cameras. I feel like they might have a few. They just don't release them publicly. I mean, we have to remember, a lot of what SpaceX does, they don't have to do. They just choose to. So, passing 17,000 kilometers an hour and 180 kilometers in altitude, going to that targeted 250 there. We're waiting for the third stage main engine cutoff here, coming up in about 200 seconds. Virginia, did I miss the actual launch? Yes, we are 383 seconds into it. So scroll back about 6 minutes, and we will catch it. It's a great call out there, Preston. The reason they fire the second stage engine while still attached is so they can take advantage of the motion of the boosters to settle propellants. If they separated, they'd have some change in their momentum for it. So a good call out there. But yeah, scroll back just a little bit there and you should be able to catch the launch. We will, of course, put up our timestamps once our stream finalizes here later today. But we're passing 20,000 kilometers an hour at 210 kilometers in altitude. About 2 minutes away from that third stage main engine cutoff. Can we issue tickets for littering rockets? Sort of. Not us, but there are things, especially under the Artemis Accords for the future, that there are major fines and penalties for just littering space or other planets as well. Yes, they did get it off the ground this time. Tubular, I really hope for a continuous camera stream during the orbital Starship light. Oh, that would be amazing. Even if they have to release it after and can't live stream it, that'd be an amazing thing to see. We will be live there and excited to bring that to you with our own live cameras from the launch. As well as we'll be live at Inspiration 4 on September 15th, the first all-civilian mission, so make sure you've subscribed so you can check that out. And take a minute and check out the GoFundMe as well if you'd like to support us in that way. We have some amazing equipment we are so excited to be using to bring to you, so you're not going to want to miss some of the stuff we have in the works. I think it'll blow some of you away. Coming up here about 60 seconds away from that cutoff, passing 25,000 kilometers an hour and 240 kilometers in altitude. Believe it or not, that's not me that's playing a soundtrack of a road. That's coming through the Roscosmos feed. They left one of the ground microphones still on. About 30 seconds till cutoff here, coming up to our max target speed of 27,700 kilometers an hour at 250 kilometers in altitude. 10 seconds till cutoff. Three, two, one, cutoff. Wait for the confirmation. Separation. And the orbital block has been inserted. So they are now going to finalize their orbit and then begin the long journey of preparing to get ready for their deployment here. So take just a really quick second here, and we'll patch this in, and we will bring that to you here as we await the orbital deployment over the next little bit. Just quickly patching that over, and he's now talking. So we might actually not be getting to see this here. We'll wait to see if they're going to bring it to us. Believe it or not, Arianespace and OneWeb streams were turned off. They went down like right after the launch itself. So Roscosmos is the only one that's covering it at this point. I'm not even sure what time OneWeb went down, but it looks like they went down like right at T0. So maybe they were having some tech issues here today like we were. But we'll keep up here on the Roscosmos one to see if they give some views. But it might be a short and sweet stream here. That looked like he did a sign-off. So, yeah, they're done. That's, are they going to show it to us? Are they going to show us the booster one more time? The anime? No, looks like... No, they look like they're done. That's, very different from what we've seen on the last few OneWebs. Maybe they're thinking these are just, you know, very routine now. But, that's it. 30 minutes from, you know, final countdown to... liftoff there. We'll go back and do a replay here, but they have finished it up. So we'll answer some of your guys' questions. I know we saw a few come in here not too long ago, so we'll pull those up to make sure we can answer them. And we will go from there here in just a moment. But nice and quick, if you're going to head out, take a moment though, engage the like button and subscribe as well. So we will be live for many future launches here in the near future. Tubular, will that be the first time you're present at a launch? Gotta be so exciting to experience that in person. Look forward to your coverage there. Yeah, Tubular. It's going to be first launch of any rocket that I've seen in person. I'm going to remember that I'm mic'd up and stuff, but I'm excited to see a Falcon 9, what's behind me here, taking to the sky, and then hopefully just a few weeks later getting to see a beautiful, fully stacked Starship make its first ever orbital test flight, something I did not expect to be seeing this year. But thanks to you guys, since January when we started the launch pad, we are excited to be able to bring that live coverage to you here for it. Arianespace is no longer live. Arianespace's feed is down. Otherwise, we would have patched them in. They cut out. Let's see when they cut out. They cut out right after the rocket got out of view of their land-based camera. They just cut the feed. So I think they might have been having some issues there. But yeah, we can't patch them in, unfortunately. Arianeweb is up now. I'm not seeing anything for them. If you have a link, let me know. But right now, we're not seeing any live views for them. Just Roscosmos. David, very brief, absolutely. Over and out. Switched over. Yeah, hello. Could it be a failure? Starship absolutely could be a failure. It is definitely something that we have to watch and could be a risk, but that's that. Sam Kelly, all the satellites in space, isn't it going to make it dangerous for SpaceX launches? So, yes and no. And we've been trying to work through how to do a video kind of on constellation satellites and the idea of them. The SpaceX satellites are at a much lower orbit. in a number of different layers. There's going to be about 9 layers of them. They can move, though. So that's one of the big things that's really neat with Starlink is, if they know a launch is coming, they can kind of push themselves out of the way and then close their hole back up. Just to make sure that they're safe. Or if they're, something's passing through on a different angle, they can move out of the way. OneWebs are a lot further out. They're over 1,200 kilometers out. So not near as much stuff is going to be in the way, and there's going to be way, way fewer. OneWeb, you're talking, I believe, a couple thousand. Starlink, you're now talking like 40,000, 30,000. So very different for it. Tubular, make sure that your mic is on. We need to hear you scream. Oh boy, we'll see. We need to get a Starship garbage rocket up there. Absolutely. Thomas, I got a question for you. How rich are you? Because your background has a lot of cool stuff and looks cool. Well, believe it or not, Thomas, not rich. But this is really because of you guys. Really because of some of our early viewers like Marcus and Bradley and some other people that were there early and supported the channel in a way of picking up some merch and donating in the early days that we were able to get some of this. And then thanks to some of our partners like Bahimzo for some of the small models on the shelf here. Thanks to our friends at Starship Balls for these. The helmet was a thing that I won. And then, yeah, just some of the other things were personal preference on needed something to do in the fun 18 months we've been doing. So for the last 8 of them, we did some other projects that could be used for the studio with those Lego sets. If you guys are wanting to pick up any of the Lego sets or some of the models behind us, we're working on getting our website up here in the next few weeks, and we will have links to all of those where if you pick them up through our links, might be a way to able to support either our partners or help support our channel even as well. So make sure you keep an eye out for that. That'll be coming out soon. We will be releasing that first to our friends over on Discord, so make sure if you haven't yet, join the Discord. The link is in the description there. Smash a hole in reentry. Oh my. Well, will it take max temps during the next test? Yes, David. So the next test is a full orbital flight. The only thing it won't do is finalize its orbit. So rather than firing its thrusters enough to finalize a full circle, it's going to get 95% of the way around and just be short enough. Elon said, if they did a small thrust, they would finish it. But just enough to come back down over Hawaii with re-entry just east of Hawaii. But I think with that, we're going to wrap it up here for us. We're going to hang out in the Discord for a while. So again, if you haven't joined that, take a moment, hit the like and engage button. I want to give, thank you again to those who donated here today. Joe and Josh, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys supporting the channel in that way. If you guys would like to support us, there's a few ways you can do that. 1, check out the GoFundMe link in the description. Or 2, you can become a YouTube member or Patreon member as well. Or if you'd like to send super chats or super stickers, that's always a way to do it. We never expect you guys to donate, but it's greatly appreciated and helps us continue to expand this studio, working on our second studio down at Starbase, and make sure that we can bring you guys the best possible live coverage from the launch sites at Kennedy, Starbase, Vandenberg, and other sites in the future. But that's going to do it for us here tonight. Thank you guys for being with us, and we will see you guys next time. This is Zach signing off. Have a great night, everyone.